Let's talk some Miami recruiting because the Canes, they're coming off a big visit weekend and they're getting ready for another big visit weekend, which is a good time to catch up with Cane Sport insider Azubi Charles. And in this video, we're going to hit on a few key flip targets. We're also going to get the latest on five-star DJ Pickett. But first, guys, hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We love talking Canes recruiting all offseason long. So go ahead, jump on board and hit subscribe. All right, let's bring on Azubi Charles from Cane Sport. Now, before we get into who's coming this weekend, I want to talk about five-star cornerback DJ Pickett, who made his official visit to Miami last weekend. And coming out of that, I talked to Steve Wiltfong, and Steve says DJ Pickett is Miami's #1 overall target this cycle. So after the visit, how are you feeling? Where do you think Miami sits among the competition?
Yeah, I think Miami's at the top, if not the top school for DJ Pickett, right along with LSU coming out that visit. This weekend went really, really well, and I had the chance to speak with DJ and his family after they wrapped things up down at Gables. Heading into that OV earlier last week, his dad really said, hey, we want to see what Miami's plan is for my son. We want to see what they want to do with him when he gets on campus, how they help him progress and reach his potential, and they believe they saw all that and more this past weekend. While the OVs are going to be crucial in DJ Pickett's recruitment, I think in-season play is going to be even more important. He really said he wants to see how all of his top programs do in those first few weeks with that October 5th commitment. I'm not a betting man, but I think if Miami starts that fall season hot and they get the ball rolling and continue to get the ball rolling, I think it's going to be really, really hard to beat the Hurricanes, and I think they'll have a great chance to land DJ Pickett.
Yeah, and that home opener, I shouldn't say home opener, that road opener for the Canes, DJ Pickett will be in the Swamp to watch that one. So Miami has a chance early in the season to make a big impression on the five-star corner. All right, also on campus over the weekend was Dallas Wilson. He's an intriguing prospect because he has been committed to the Oregon Ducks for 14, 15 months now, so well over a year he's been committed to the Ducks. But what's interesting is he's from Tampa, Florida, and we all know as signing day gets closer, more and more pressure will be on him to stay in state, or is he going to really go 3,000 miles away and play ball for Oregon? Seems solid, but over the weekend he was in Miami. What are you hearing on Dallas Wilson?
Yeah, Miami staff is just chipping away slowly but surely in that recruitment. Like you mentioned, a very, very long time commit to Oregon. And Miami's playing their cards right. They're just saying, hey, just come check us out. Give us a chance to see what we have to offer. And this weekend, I feel like just getting him on campus was very, very big because they've tried to get him on campus a few times and things haven't worked out. But he actually moved around a few official visits to get down in Miami. Coach Kevin Beer and that staff, really, really value Wilson. Think he's one of the best wide receivers in the country. And that's why they have not given up on his recruitment. And like I said, they just keep chipping away slowly. Trying to just show them, hey, you don't have to go all the way across the country to succeed. We have all that you need in Miami. And I think he's another guy that's going to be watching how the Hurricanes do this season. And if that offense is as explosive as they think with Cam Ward and the weapons that he has, I feel like it's going to be hard not to consider Miami a real threat when December comes around.
Miami with a ton of options at the wide receiver position. Dallas Wilson's a five-star. Jamie French was on campus earlier in the week, so was Vernell Brown. A lot of talent on that wide receiver board for Miami. One more in-state prospect I want to hit on is Myron Charles. He's from Port Charlotte. He's the second best defensive lineman in the state of Florida, and his recruitment is heating up. Now, of course, all the in-state schools are on him, but now Texas enters the picture. Myron Charles takes a visit there last weekend, or 2 weekends ago. Now he was at Miami. How do you feel about Myron Charles and the Canes' chances to keep him in-state?
Yeah, so heading into this visit, I always thought Miami was kind of on the outside looking in with Myron Charles, with kind of Florida State kind of being that front runner, that leader. He said that before publicly. So, I was really, looking to see what he had to say coming out the visit. He had a lot of good things to say about the Hurricanes, and, they've been recruiting him for a very, very long time. They've kind of always been in the mix, but have never kind of made that leap to the top of the list. I don't think they're there just yet, but I do think this past weekend did have a really big impact in his recruitment. And Miami's kind of steadily climbing, kind of making their way up that list. But I feel like it's going to be hard to beat out those other programs. But I feel like Miami did their, a good job of kind of making their way up that list and making a push for them.
All right, one last prospect I want to hit on, and he's coming in this week. And now there's a bunch of prospects taking official visits to Miami. Go over to Cane Sport. They do an incredible job of covering all the names. But there's one I want to focus on heading into the weekend, and that's Hilton Stubbs. The USC commitment was at UF last weekend. He's going to be at Miami this weekend. Now, he's from Jacksonville, Mandarin High School in Jacksonville, committed to USC a couple months ago. How do you feel about Stubbs' recruitment to Miami heading into this visit?
Yeah, I think it's a great sign that the Hurricanes are getting him back on campus for an official visit. He was in Miami earlier this spring and had a lot of great things to say about his relationship with Miami and kind of the new defensive backs coach Tevis Jackson, who's kind of taken over that recruitment alongside defensive coordinator Lance Kidry. Miami's done a great job of just keeping in consistent contact with him and letting him know what's going down, in Coral Gables, and he loves that. I'm excited to see what he has to say coming out the visit, and I think the Hurricanes could potentially boost, where they stand as a recruitment if things go well and they really show him what they all have to offer down there.
All right, recruiting is red hot down in Miami. Another big visit weekend on tap. Azubi Charles with Cane Sport, thanks for dropping by today on the Inside Scoop.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you've made it to the end of today's video, but there's hundreds more videos on the On3 Recruits channel for you to check out. And also, while you're here, hit subscribe.